Before we splash it, to get going, I'm going to introduce Mr. Chris Hines to say a few words to us.
Yay!
So first thing is, looking around, I can see that the sunblocks work really well on everybody. There's no skin things going on here. So strange and wonderful, weird place to be. Nice thing to be asked to do. Handing over of a surf shop, changing of the guard. 43 years? Yeah, so the next 43 years will be 2068. We'll all be here for that one. So when I first moved here, I moved here about 34 years ago, and I kind of grew up in the Dartmoor. I moved here, and I was lucky enough that the first people I plugged into in the surfing community, I had to go and do an interview with Mrs. Mills, Mark Hills over here, that then meant that I met Johnny and Lisa and Teep and people like that, and it was great, and Tris, and then I found out that that was the reality of surfing. And it's funny, we look around and the World Surfing League is pumping all that money out and everybody's all churning around, but actually sometimes it feels like it's lost its bollocks, it's lost its real roots. And I think, if there's that advert, isn't there, if Carlsberg made supermarkets or whatever, but I kind of think that if Carlsberg were to make a surf shop, they could do an awful lot worse than have a surf shop like Tris Surf Shop. And this was kind of confirmed fairly shortly. I think it was the first winter I lived here, and I walked into the surf shop and Johnny was there by himself in the surf shop, desperately, no customers, but he was desperately colouring in a fishnet stocking on the leg of the mannequin. But the body and the rest of it wasn't there at all. There was just his leg and Johnny in a shop with a felt pen and a dirty little smile on his face. Yeah, so as we say, we don't know where the rest of the body is actually buried. But surf lessons and all those things that have happened, and I was lucky enough to run them and teach some complete barking idiots who are down here and be paid large sums of money to do so, and kind of also to introduce them again into that culture, the side culture that we don't talk about in the surfing world, did we really? But also there was the Cornish Open, famous for being here at this beach, longest running surf contest, pretty much in the UK. And a couple of kind of anecdotes around that. I can remember once, it was all going okay, but Saturday was a bit kind of starved. There were some various supplies hadn't been brought down to the judges. They were starving in a way. And then finally the supplies arrived, and there was this moment where one judge fell out of the Land Rover. So I was asked to do some judging. So we just kept running, the heat kept running, the competitors came up, and we jumped and said, well, okay, did we win? And we went, I don't know, really. But the surf contest again had this certain, there was a lot of serious stuff going down. The World Surfing League was, in its kind of infancy as the ASP. But here, I can remember there was one contest where Jimmy Redarst was down doing 360s and double slashbacks or whatever, and there was this wonderful guy called Victor Hole, who basically turned up, took the biggest wave of the day, and he won, because that was what was deemed as the important thing. The sponsored surfers weren't too keen about that, but Victor couldn't pick his prize up because he had to go and wash dishes. So, that kind of thing. But as well, I have to say a huge thanks to Johnny for the work that he did with surfing and sewage as well, because again, lots of people in the surfing industry and the tourist industry, they played this dumbass game where they said there wasn't any shit in the sea, and it was like the Jaws film where there's no shark in the village, but our shark was a great brown turd. But Johnny used to have this lovely bag of horrors that he would especially bring out, and they were needles and everything, and he'd show them to the journalists. But it risked his business, but he put that on the line because he believed and he cared about the world in which we live and the beaches in which everybody was going in to surf. So kind of to wrap up, there will be, I think, commemorative Madame Tussauds made of sex wax. If your memory's good enough, purple wax mate. There we go, back a bit there. finger will be missing. That was one of God's great edits to stop Johnny doing that stuff. But it's great to see Ryan and crew taking on the tradition. You know, you can still go out there, and there'll be days this summer, as there have always been days, where all the tourists come marching down, and there's this crew with music banging out of the shop of varying descriptions, people doing ridiculous things on the forecourt. There was one last summer of someone with a cardboard box on just running around, falling over into bollards. And, you know, Johnny used to stand there, surveying it all and go, that Cornish breaststroke. And everything, that bit of madness, that lovely irreverence with the middle finger missing, and the real true guts of surfing and what it's all about. So, thank you ever so much, Johnny, and over to Ryan. Thank you.
First of all, thanks, Chris. Classic. Couldn't have put it much better. And also, thanks all of you for winding your way down to Porttown this afternoon. It really is brilliant to have you all here. It's an amazing turnout. I know Johnny and I really do appreciate it. As Chris said, it's been about 40 odd years since Tris Surf Shop first opened its doors. Back then there was probably a pair of flip-flops, a rack of shiny new Tris surfboards, and a couple of hippies hanging out outside with grand ideas of running a shop on the beach. And I'm happy to say that as Chris said, in an era when surfing and surf culture is twisted and turned all over the place, not a great deal has really changed, which is fantastic. The shop itself has been through various incarnations over the years, but it's always managed to keep that charm and that grassroots ethos. And that's something which loads of you guys have been a part of. And I'm sure that most of you, like myself, will only really believe Johnny's retirement when you see it. Because he's been at the heart of all things Tris Surf since the very beginning. Don't be surprised to see him sunning himself outside the shop in the summer, snuffling around. He will be practicing his Cornish breaststroke and trying to pick off all those customers with the deepest pockets. However,
it's getting a bit like a best man speech.
After 40 odd years of man in the shop, Johnny has decided to take a back seat. We'll spend a little less time squeezing screaming children into sand and sweaty wetsuits, and hand the very serious business of running Tris Surf Shop over to me. And don't worry, I'll still let you in now and again if you need to change coffee, or it's not that you ever really pay for it. Now, while Johnny's retirement and 40 years of Tris Surf Shop is an event in itself, it's ample excuse for a party. We do have another reason for bringing you all down here today. You might have noticed, you might have guessed that we do have a surprise for you guys. Hopefully it's been the best kept secret this side of Portree for the last 18 months or so. I'm sure that a load of you have noticed that Johnny and Pip have spent the last few winters tucked away deep in the jungles of Costa Rica. Now, it's lovely, but 4 months is a long time to sort of spend off-grid in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the rainforest, and I've frequently been asked a question by quite a few of you in here. What the fuck do they do down there? Aside from surfing, fishing, a bit of exploring, Johnny has been swinging quietly in his hammock and recording his memories and his stories. There's stories of a life lived here around the ocean. There's stories of Tris Surf Shop, Tris Surfboards, all of you guys and his travels around the world. And now, with the help of Pip, Sam Bleakley and myself, he's brought them all together, and over the past year or so, believe it or not, he's gone and written a book. Now, it's called Looking for Something to Find. It's not just a book about surfing. It's not supposed to be a history book or a definitive record of events, plenty of which I'm sure can't quite remember. But it is a collection of Johnny's stories, and in a way I think it forms a sort of alternative history, an alternative perspective to the sort of fascinating time from the sort of 40s right the way through 60s, 70s, 80s up until now. And as I'm sure you've probably guessed by now, plenty of you lot are in it.
Is your pictures right?
Don't worry about that. So before I hand over to Johnny, just for a couple of words, I'm going to give you a little taste of what he's been up to. I'm just going to read you a few lines from the book so you get a little idea. Okay? So, chapter 11.
He's only got 9 fingers.
So, Tris and I got the opportunity to open the surf shop in 1974. A new complex was being built, the boards were going really well, and we said let's go for it. Tris Surfboards acquired Tris Surf Shop. It was £100 a month. Back then it was a lot of rent. Our opening day was no big deal, we just went surfing. We put a few board racks up. We had about a dozen beauties, a couple of wetsuits we had managed to import from the States, a bunch of tired tread sandals, and a collection of hippie beads and bangles for sale. And that was about it. It was a brilliant little shop, and it provided the posse with a great place to get changed for surf. And from that, we come to here. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Johnny.
That's winning. Looking around makes me realise what a fantastic bunch of people you are. I mean, people like you make it. Thank you very much. Yeah, there's this day isn't all about me. It's about Ryan and all his posse, because he's taken over, and all the traders have helped me, you know, in business, and all the customers who've become friends. Thank you very much. Give that to Ryan as well. You know, support him. That's all I ask. And as for the book, well,
How much is it, Johnny?
okay, here we go.
20 guineas.
Buy it, read it, and enjoy it. Thank you. Let's do it properly. This is the key to my empire.
Not to the safe though, John.
It doesn't look much, does it? No, that's yours, right? And last but not least, Ryan, is a couple of fucking invoices you haven't paid. thanks a lot, everybody. So, like, mingle, talk amongst yourselves, drink and be merry, and the band starts later. And anybody wants to come up and slag me off or this microphone here, feel free to say anything you like.